He only wanted to lose his last 200,000 and then jump off a building to end his life. But unexpectedly, his phone suddenly received a message telling him to go all in. At first, the man thought it was just a cruel prank, but after thinking about it, he realized that no matter what, he was going to lose the money anyway, so he pushed all his remaining 200,000 onto the table in one move. In an instant, everyone around him was shocked, thinking the man must be insane. Even Higuan, the dealer, was left stunned, his jaw practically dropping. After confirming with his superiors that the bet could proceed, Higuan began counting the chips and then said calmly, "Good luck." Watching Higuan deal the cards with a serious expression, the man's heart leapt into his throat. The onlookers were also watching the game closely. However, what no one expected was that he revealed the highest possible hand at the table. This meant his 200,000 instantly turned into a huge win, leaving everyone around him filled with envy. What no one knew was that this was only the beginning of his winning streak. Soon after, his phone received a second message telling him to play the number 13 slot machine in the casino. As Jack slowly approached the machine, he realized someone else was already playing on it. While Jack grew increasingly irritated, the phone sent another message saying that after 4 more plays, the machine would pay out $1 million. Seeing that the player had no intention of leaving, Jack offered 10 in cash to buy his seat, lying that number 13 was his lucky number. But the man replied that 13 was also his wife's lucky number. When the man pressed the button for the second time, Jack quickly raised the offer to 10 again, but the player still refused to move. With no other choice, Jack raised the offer to 50, and only then did the man finally leave. The man thought he had just met an idiot, not knowing that what happened next would make him regret it for the rest of his life. At that moment, the casino staff also noticed the situation, but they had no idea what Jack was up to. After all, the odds of winning on that slot machine were almost zero. They were convinced Jack could not possibly win, so they quietly observed from the surveillance room. As the man walked away, Jack took a deep breath and pressed the button. Instantly, the symbols on the machine began to spin. Jack thought he was just testing his luck, but he never expected to actually hit the $1 million jackpot. He was overwhelmed with excitement, while the man who gave up the seat was consumed with regret. Although the staff saw nothing unusual on the cameras, they noticed that ever since Jack entered the casino, he kept glancing at his phone. Could it be that his phone was somehow predicting upcoming wins? To keep him in check, the casino owner immediately sent some men to warn Jack not to use his phone inside. If he continued, he would be blacklisted. Left with no choice, Jack behaved himself, at least on the surface. But there was no way he would give up this endless stream of money. As soon as he stepped outside, Jack called a hacker friend and bought a Bluetooth earpiece capable of translating messages. As for who had been sending him those winning messages, he had already stopped caring. From then on, as long as Jack wore the earpiece, the messages would automatically be converted into voice alerts. Believing no one would notice now, Jack confidently walked back into the casino. What he didn't know was that the owner was already watching him closely on the surveillance monitors. At that moment, his phone received yet another message. When the owner saw Jack walking straight toward a slot machine with a top prize of 300,000,